So typically in AI-only battles, the civ that gets the most amount of room to expand usually ends up winning the game, and Europe usually ends up getting destroyed, but that's something I really wanted to change. So what I've done is I've scaled AI-only bonuses to difficulty levels. So certain regions are playing on Deity, while other regions are playing on Prince, and everything in between. Now I've used Paradox's method of scaling technologies based on regions in order to accomplish this goal, so Europe should come back with a vengeance. So I'm sure you're probably thinking, what are you talking about? Please explain yourself, Drew. Okay, so what I mean is that Europe is playing on Deity, and the natives are playing on Prince. Now, if you didn't know, it's not... When you go into a campaign and you pick whatever difficulty you play on, Prince or whatever it may be, there are a lot of... it's not so much for Prince. Prince is everyone is playing at human level. You don't get any additional bonuses at all. But when you pick Deity, there are not only the starting bonuses that most people know about, there's also a lot of bonuses that go on underneath the surface. Now, I'm unable to individually make CIVS play on Deity and get all those like under the surface bonuses. And plus, if I was able to do that, Europe would absolutely dominate. They're not going to dominate as bad because I've only given them Deity starting bonuses, which means units and technology. That's it. That's all I've done here is units and technology, but you know, obviously that's still a pretty huge deal because when you consider that the Deity AI gets significantly more free text than someone from the New World will. So everyone's playing on Prince. Again, they're just getting that starting bonuses. So let me go through everyone, and as I said, I've used Paradox's method of scaling technologies by region. So all of Western Europe is playing on Deity, and when I say playing on Deity, I just mean they've been given the Deity starting bonuses. So Rome, Spain, Portugal, France, Netherlands, England, Celts, Sweden, and Denmark, Germany, and Austria. Poland is right there on the cutoff. They are actually Eastern technology, so Poland is playing on Immortal. Russia is as well, and then I just grouped in the Ottoman tech group. So Ottoman and Byzantium, they're both playing on Immortal too. They're getting Immortal start bonuses. So then we have the Huns. The Huns, most of the Muslim nations, Assyria, Persia, Babylon, Arabia, Egypt, Carthage, and Morocco, they're playing on Emperor, and then we have King for most of the remaining sub-Saharan African nations. There you go. Songhai, Zulu, and then we have Eastern Asia also playing on King difficulty, as well as, you know, Siam, India, and Indonesia. And then everyone here in the New World is playing on Prince. I did include Washington and, America and Brazil. I know how much you guys wanted to see it, and I know that it's a little bit weird because, you know, these are like colonies and independent colonies at some point. You know, let's just let it go. I know so many people wanted me to include Brazil and America, and I wasn't going to deny them of that again because I've done it too many times in the past. Now, in order to set this up, I had to eliminate one civ. And because there are no city-states in this game again, and because a lot of people got really butthurt that I included Venice last time, I will be observing as Venice. Venice will not be in the game because there is a 43 civ limit. Obviously, I tried to include them, but I couldn't. This is actually good, though. I mean, you know, it's not like Venice would have done very well. I wanted to see Venice. I want to see how they could do in other campaigns, but this campaign, I understand. If I'm gonna eliminate, at least if I have to observe with one civ, Venice is the obvious choice there. So yeah, I think that's it. Also, back by popular demand, I did actually remove a science victory. So yes, you will have to win through. Well, a diplomatic victory is probably not possible. There's no way it's possible. You pretty much have to win only through cultural or domination. It'll probably be cultural. There's no way someone's gonna get all the capitals in the world. So yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. So just because Europeans have technological bonuses, that doesn't really help them out that much. They're still going to have to war. And the thing I love about a culture-only victory is that practically, and we've seen this in other AI-only battles, and if you haven't seen my other AI-only battles, please check the description in the section below. I will include a link to the European campaign and the other AI-only worlds. So yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean that these guys are any closer to victory. It just means that they're going to dominate more. So that will be really, really interesting. Now, predictions, I will go ahead and start clicking next turn. In terms of predictions, I still think the Zulu are going to be dominant. There's no way the Zulu are not going to be. They're going to be a little bit dominant, and you would think. So you would think that I'm thinking that everyone's like, oh well, Europe is going to win. Europe's going to win. Not necessarily. Not at all. Europe is going to be strong in the beginning, but it's going to kind of scale where Europe will probably be able to compete by the end to late part of the game. It won't be as one-sided. We won't see all these European civs just dropping one by one when we get to the information era. I still think Mongolia will be somewhat powerful. Obviously the Zulu as well, but I don't think they'll ever be as powerful as they were in the previous campaign. Yes, I am using the same map, but the resources are different. Everyone has different resources. Again, that's the thing I love about this mod, the Yet Not Another Earth map pack mod. Resources they always change no matter what. So there will be differences from the other campaigns, so that'll be good. And everyone has different strategic resources. So just because if you watch the other campaign doesn't mean you'll know exactly where the resources are. It's completely different. Some people have iron, and a big one is that Rome has iron. So yes, that will be very interesting. So let's keep those off, though. I mean, I'll occasionally turn those on to kind of look at some resources, but not yet. Maybe for video too. So yeah, it's just because, like I said, just because Europe is given these bonuses doesn't mean anything. It's just going to keep them ahead of the pack, and it's going to kind of get this like historical bonus sort of thing. So like I said in the other campaigns, please leave me a comment in the section below telling me who you think is going to win. If you pick right, I will give you a shout out at the end of the campaign. Please only pick one. It's a lot easier to kind of pick like top 3 or something like that. If you can have like ones that you might want to root for, but please give me just one answer for who you think is going to win. Honestly, I don't know, but I will tell you who I think I'm most interested in watching, and that is Polynesia. I cannot wait to see exactly what Polynesia does in this campaign. I honestly, like, I kind of don't, I mean, I care super about Europe, but I'm so interested to see, because Polynesia has so many different routes they can go. Look, it looks like their warrior unit, their unique warrior unit, is probably going to go for Australia first. And that would mean a nice settler for them. So Polynesia is playing on Prince. That's still fine, because more than likely, no one is going to take out Polynesia. Polynesia actually has the opportunity of being really strong because of their, what is their cultural thing called? I forgot their cultural unique tile improvement, but that's going to provide them with a lot of culture, and more than likely, it'll be tough for AIs to become influential with them, at least in the cultural victory category. So yeah, I'm really, really interested in watching how Polynesia does. If I had to pick who I think is going to win personally, I don't know. I'm really, really on the fence. It's either going to be, I think either it'll be someone in the main heart of Europe. That's I'm thinking maybe either the Netherlands, France, Germany, maybe Spain. Someone there. Also, I cannot wait to see exactly who it is in the Iberian Peninsula to grab the Rock of Gibraltar. Obviously, if Spain gets that would be really good for them, and they'll have a crap load of money for the remaining part of the game. But Maria only has to reach out one tile south and steal that away. Obviously, she's already discovered that that natural wonder, so, because of her unique ability, she probably is already gifted 500 gold. You can assume that maybe the AI is probably going to use that 500 gold to purchase another settler, so it'll be very interesting. So yeah, I would say either someone in the heart of Europe is going to win, or, I mean, Brazil is a good one to win because of their unique ability. Obviously, they get that they're kind of geared towards a cultural victory, but I don't know. It's so hard to see, because ultimately this campaign comes down to two things. Who is going to win? Is it going to be the Civ that starts off with good bonuses like from Europe, or will it be the Civ that's on a slow grind that has a lot of land? That's ultimately what we're going to figure out. And it kind of depends on who exactly gets taken out in Europe. Who knows exactly who's going to get taken out in Europe? For some reason, I'm leaning towards the Shoshone, believe it or not, of winning the game. I really am, because no one is really going to mess with them, unless it could be Polynesia. Polynesia could mess with them potentially, but I mean, the Shoshone are going to kind of probably move up towards Alaska, stay in Canada. I don't know. I know it's a shot in the dark, and that's a really, really weird pick, but I'm thinking the Shoshone, because they're going to be quiet, and they can potentially take a whole lot of natives. More than likely, the Iroquois and Washington, they're going to get into it. America, these guys are going to get into it. The Aztecs are going to come up from the south of Mexico and probably grab maybe Texas, maybe the south here, Florida, stuff like that, and that'll ultimately, I think they'll all be in a big old land grab. Shoshone has a lot of room to expand, and they'll be pretty quiet. They have the potential of having a pretty good game. But again, Brazil is also up there. I'm just going to say the Shoshone because I love a true underdog story. But yes, so, you know, I have to apologize in advance now. I am going to be focusing mainly on Europe for the first maybe 3 or 4 videos just because that's where all the action is going. Everyone else is playing on lower difficulties, so they don't have a settler. Deity is the huge jump. Actually, an even bigger jump would be from Emperor to Immortal. Now, I know a lot of people are probably worried about maybe some of their favorite civs out here in Eastern Asia, Japan, Korea, China, Indonesia, Mongolia, Siam. I'm not worried about them. They're going to be fine. Even India, I think they'll be fine. There are a few civs that there's no way they're going to be fine, and it's only 2 really. Carthage, who tends to be very expansive, who might be the best civ to be in this situation because you have an AI that's playing on Immortal difficulty, very, very close to Deity AIs, and Germany just settled their first city in the hearts of Europe. Also, as you can see, everyone settled. I figured out the problem with the first AI-only world campaign. I have limited the tiles needed to settle next to a city. So I think it's 2 now, or maybe you can, yeah, I think it's about 2 tiles. You don't have to settle 3 tiles away anymore, so that should help out Europe a lot. I would worry about Carthage and Morocco. Carthage is in a good situation. Morocco could potentially get taken over by someone from Iberia. I'm worried about those civs. That'll probably be the toughest one. I still think, like I said, the Zulu are going to be fine because no one's going to mess with them. And even though they're going to take a long time to expand, a very, very long time to expand, I think they'll be fine. I'm not too worried about them really at all, as well as Eastern Asia should be fine. Now, a few positions that I am kind of really interested outside of Europe to kind of watch and see exactly who ends up dominating is I'm really, really excited about. Hold on, I'm really excited about this region right here. You've got a very focused amount of civs. Also, by the way, I think that Russia has a potential of doing really good, but it depends on what AI shows up. Sometimes Catherine is extremely expansive, sometimes she's not, and it's weird. But I think that this kind of Middle Eastern part is going to be a really interesting region to watch in this campaign, because you have Persia, who really ultimately can only move towards India. That's really the only place they can go. You've got Assyria, who's extremely expansive. I think another favorite to win maybe would be Assyria, because they can catch up in technologies. Every city they take, they can potentially take a technology from them as well. So if Syria starts moving towards Europe, they could be really, really dominant. As well as Babylon. Babylon is a very good, science victory civ, but again, there's no science victory, so that is great. A couple more details about this game. We are obviously starting in the ancient era. It's a huge map. So yeah, the difficulty is Prince, so they're not getting any more bonuses besides their starting bonuses, than the human player does naturally. Game pace is standard, so again, domination culture, diplomatic, and the bonuses, so they can't raise cities. This is the other feature. They cannot raise cities. I love that. There's no barbarians. There's no ruins, which makes it a little bit harder for those outside of Europe civs. And then quick combat and movement are on as well. So yeah, as I said, Persia can only go to the east, really, and go for India. They have to go underneath these mountain ranges as well. Assyria will have to move up north. You've got a really interesting combination of civs here with Assyria and the Huns so close to each other. You have the Ottomans, Byzantium, and of course Babylon. Babylon is the dominant scientific civ, so we'll see if they're going to be able to kind of do something and maybe make something work. And then, of course, you have Arabia down in the south as well, which will be kind of interesting to see exactly how they do. Egypt will probably be pretty quiet. I don't know how Egypt's going to do. It's going to be very interesting to watch some of these African civs play out again, because the Zulu ultimately will probably not be as dominant as we've seen them in the past. So that'll probably give more time for someone like Songhai, Carthage, Egypt to expand. Egypt needs to be worried because this region is very, very, very scary. So Hamburg has been settled. Oh, and we've got another city settled here in Europe. Oh my gosh, look at that. Look at that. Europe is already ready to go. Everyone, okay, so Europe is already settled. We've got England with 2 cities, the Netherlands with 2 cities, Spain with 2 cities, and Germany with 2 cities. And it looks like Rome is going for the northern coast of Africa. This should be very interesting. So yeah, they're going to get their bonuses. And these borders are already shaping up to be very nice in Europe. It's going to be interesting to see where they colonize exactly. So we have the first Pantheon. Of course, it is the Celts. And I'm really hoping the Celts do something here. It looks like they were beat out by like 1 or 2 turns of settling the western coast of the British Isles. That sucks. I really, really hope the Celts are able to pull something together here, though. I really hope. So yeah, the Celts do have the first Pantheon, which seems to be normal. I'm sure the second will probably be from Ethiopia, because those are 2 very religiously geared civilizations. Austria doesn't seem to be moving very much. They're not moving very. Their settlers still remaining inside Vienna. And yes, I am watching. Oh, did they settle here in Sicily? Typically, this is Sicily. It's not actually an island, which I dislike. And I'm assuming that's supposed to be Sardinia. Maybe they're going for the marble. I don't know exactly what they're going to go for here. They could be. Oh, we got Portugal moving up north. Maybe going for Ireland. It is possible, or maybe Iceland. Or, of course, Greenland. Let's hope that no one settles Greenland and locks off anyone from the New World. We will see, but this is going to be really interesting to see Europe, these like first initial few turns, because this is kind of the start of the game. So it looks like Spain is somewhat powerful, but they did not grab the Rock of Gibraltar. And yes, Rome is definitely going for the northern coast of Africa. That will be very interesting, because I'm imagining those Punic Wars starting up very, very soon. So yeah, Portugal did grab the Rock of Gibraltar, which is going to make Spain a little bit weaker, although, you know, Spain would have only gotten, what would it be? It'd be 4 food and 5 gold with your unique ability. But still, not that much, because gold, you know, AI doesn't typically use gold very well. I feel bad for France. I do feel bad for France. I'm not sure what they're going to do. Oh my gosh. This is also another big key. Europe, at least Western Europe, who is playing on Deity, they are able to embark. I'm sure, I don't know if you guys were confused about that. I let them embark because obviously without the embarking promotion, then what the hell are they going to do with all these settlers? You know what I mean? What is England going to do? What are the Celts? Well, I guess England's going to settle there, but what are the Celts going to do? What is Rome going to do? So this should help out someone like, and also Portugal. Now that, you know, obviously Portugal could only move out to the sea. So there were some civs that absolutely needed to be able to embark initially right off the bat. So that's why I gave it to them. That way we're not seeing, you know, a civ with a settler that's not able to do anything with it. I think that's only appropriate. Again, I have no idea what is going to play out here, and I apologize in advance for a second time. You know, we're going to kind of focus on Europe for a little bit here, because that's where, you know, most of the action is going to take place. Obviously, not for long. It'll just be, you know, when they settle their initial settler that they get from their deity bonuses, but after that we'll move on to someone else. So in terms of score, and I'm kind of keeping my eye on the Zulu are going to be pretty interesting. I'm sure they're going to be as expansive, but are they going to keep up in technology? There's no way. Because, you know, they're playing on King, so I think they start off with 1 technology, while Deity starts off with 5. So that'll be tough, but so Zulu are going to have to get up those, you know, initial cities. They're going to have to control South Africa, and then they're just going to have to sit on it for a little bit. They're not going to be able to take on the European powers right away. They're going to need to wait for a second and hopefully tech up. That's really the only thing that they can do. So we've got Bismarck at number 1 at 54 points, and the Netherlands at 53. I've got to say, in terms of Europe, I'm kind of rooting for the Netherlands, baby. I like the Netherlands. I have a soft spot for them. We also have the Scandinavian countries as well settling this kind of formation, which they did also, I think they do this all the time. For some reason, Sweden always goes for that coastal city, whereas Denmark does another coastal city, but in the Baltic Sea. So, yeah, I do have a very soft spot for the Netherlands. I am kind of rooting for, I'm rooting for William somewhat here, because it's like they're in a tough spot. Although France is kind of in I don't know, France is going to have to find someplace. I mean, Ireland is still open, and you do have Rome, with their scout out going for Iceland, but they've already settled Antium. Yes, there's going to be some issues with Carthage, I think, very early on, and that's just as we predicted, so that should be interesting. Oh, I think I forgot to mention that Greece is also playing on Immortal difficulty. So it kind of worked out perfectly, where, you know, Poland is obviously one of the strongest civs in the game by far, but because of, you know, Paradox's method, they're typically Eastern, so that means they're playing on Immortal. I didn't have to really do anything, it just kind of worked out there. So they're not given a settler off the bat. So, I mean, Poland, of all the civs, do not need extra bonuses. So I'm glad that I didn't have to set them on deity level, because they'd probably win the game if they were playing on deity. The same thing kind of goes for the Huns and Catherine. You know, typically you see the Huns take out Catherine very early on, but because of the region that the Huns are in, they're playing on Emperor, whereas Russia is playing on Immortal. And that is a big difference. That's what, you hear so many people have these problems going from Emperor to Immortal. That's because there are huge bonuses. When you actually look up the scaling differences, that is probably the hugest jump. That's probably the biggest jump. I mean, going from Immortal to Deity, it's just that extra settler you have to worry about, really. But from Emperor to Immortal, that's huge. There's a lot of extra things that are going on underneath the surface as well, but, obviously the starting bonuses, which is key. So I don't know if we're going to see the Huns grab Russia early on, and that's why I predicted that Russia, I'm very interested to see what Russia does, Assyria does, the Netherlands do, and then I think, I guess I'll stay with that. The Shoshone, I know that's weird, but I like rooting for the underdog, and they're going to be really, really quiet. For the most part in this game, they'll probably remain really, really quiet. As will the New World. The New World is going to remain very, very quiet, but, with time and with a lot of cities, they have a lot of room to expand. They should get extremely strong. So, anyways, guys, I'm going to have to stop right there. Please let me know in the comment section below who you think is going to win. You can give me your favorites, but, ultimately, who you think is going to win, please just leave me one answer. That way, it's easier for me to find you guys at the end of this campaign and give you a big old shout out to see, congratulations on picking the right civ. So, yeah, and consider leaving a like as well. That helps out tremendously. Thank you guys so much for watching this series. I personally have so much fun narrating this and watching this, and part of the biggest reason is just because of the lore that you guys build. It's so exciting. Oh my gosh, the lore is unbelievably exciting to read those comments and read what you guys have to say and read the storylines. So I thank you guys so much for that. We're on turn 18, so we'll be able to kick it up into high gear for the next video of the series. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.